Welcome to Costa Rica. My name is Johnny from Johnny Knows Costa Rica. There's a big misconception about creating a corporation here in Costa Rica and what type of corporation you should create and when it's appropriate. I'm going to give you a perspective of why you should open it and why maybe you should not. One of the reasons why you should open a corporation when you're coming here is protect property. Some people say that you may not need it, it's unnecessary, it's a tax that you're paying, it's you have to pay at the end of the year, you have to claim this every month, it's a cost. These are all true. But what it does, it's similar to what we consider a trust in the US, and sometimes it's called differently in different countries. And here in Costa Rica is no different. There's corporations called fideicomisos that you can use it in that such a manner as a trust. Or you can use a regular corporation like we're going to talk to you about right now. Using it in a regular corporation protects you from being taken, from you signing over your property to somebody else. Or let's say you're driving down the street, and Costa Rica drivers are very well sometimes. You hit somebody. The first thing that happens is that they're going to see that foreigner behind the wheel and says, you know what? He's got that Dollar Tree planted behind his house because that house is magnificent. And it could be that, you know what, you saved all your life and you put your life savings into this house in Costa Rica and you have a decent car and you have this, but you're not super wealthy. What happens is that, let's just say you do have insurance in your car. That insurance covers up to a certain limit. Anything above that, they're going to go after you personally. And if you have something in your name personally, they can go after it. If that house is not under a corporation, they can go after that house because it's personal. It's assets that they can go after. Do you think that paying that $100, $200, or even $500 a year for that corporation is worth saving your home? I think so. The other thing that you want to do is when you're opening a business, that you keep in my opinion, the way we do things is that you have two corporations. One holds assets and one of them for operation. Why? Because if in fact something happens to the main corporation, you still have the assets protected. That's why you have some corporations. There's different types of corporations that we can go in another time, but I want you to know that it's not about just that lawyer getting there, getting that commission for building that corporation. It's protecting you and your assets. The other thing too that you need to consider when you're doing this is that accounting. Having a good accountant, because you have monthly, quarterly, and yearly things that you have to do. Just like the US, just similar, different time periods, different dates, and different amounts. So if you're thinking of living and buying a piece of property here, I highly suggest you to put your property in a corporation. And if you, in fact, want to start a business, make sure that you start the business in a separate corporation. A lot of lawyers will say, you know what, go ahead and start in that corporation, you already had it set up. Do not put your assets at risk because you put it into a business here. Do not do that. It's the last thing you should do. Take it from experience. These things are not good. I'm going to give you a little bit of a story of an experience I personally had. I had a gardener. He is not an employee. He worked for me for 4 years. He would come on the same date every Monday, cut the lawns, get paid, and did this for a period of time. When we had a disagreement on things, I let him go. But guess who came knocking on the door? Ministerio de Trabajo, which is Ministry of Work, and La Caja. These two things you have to be careful of. What happens is that here in Costa Rica, when you're hiring an employee, they are not employees unless they have a schedule. And once they meet a schedule, whether it's 1 day a month or 15 days a month, they become your employee. This is why the corporation is so important, to separate your assets from your personal side of the house, because this happened to me. Thank goodness I was able to settle out of court. It cost me some money, but hopefully this information won't cost you some money. Be safe, pura vida, and if any of this information was helpful, please comment and please subscribe. Have a safe and good holiday. Pura vida.